$800,000 deal, so $400,000 per season. There's been a bit of ambiguity about kind of his contract and how much money he has been earning. There's been plenty of talk in the media saying that, when the mutual agreement was signed at the Dragons to extend him for 2025, because he had triggered it, he was only getting $200,000 a season. But then I've seen other reports saying that he was actually still on his agreed $600,000 per year, which probably makes a bit more sense, Kurt, because the talk around town is the Dragons are chipping in a little bit of coin to send Jack Bird off to the Tigers. He's off the books and probably kind of create some room salary cap wise for the Dragons, which we'll talk about at length a little bit later on in the podcast. But really interested to get your thoughts and your feedback on this as a Tigers fan. Probably not great considering there's a lot of Dragons fans that are cock a hoop about him leaving. Never a good thing when you're signing a player and the opposition fan base is happy that he's leaving. What do you make of this signing for, I think, a 29-year-old Jack Bird moving on from the Dragons to the Tigers for season 2025?
I've said my piece on this, and I think we've both spoken about it. But great news for the Dragons. Look, if you have to give him a report or a mark, I'd say he's been a mostly good servant on field for the Dragons in a fairly poor period for the club. To the point where that's not saying much, because the level or expectation on the team has not been very high for a long time. Look, I know Bird and Flanagan are mates, but I think Shane Flanagan got what he needed out of Jack Bird this year, but he's also got what he wanted as well in the fact that he's now being able to replace Jack Bird with someone else. I think he served the purpose for Flanagan in this version of the Dragons. But moving forward, I mean, he kind of, the coach really wanted Lomax as a winger, so he had to find someone to do a job, a stopgap position in the centres. He did that. It's not a long-term position. It's not a long-term thing, Jack Bird as a centre at the Dragons. So I think for Dragons and the Dragons fans, it's good luck with your future endeavours. Thank you very much. But everyone moves on.
Yeah, I think it's quite apparent he's not the same player that he was at the Sharks. I think the trajectory of Jack Bird's career changed when he left the Sharks, I think, at the end of 2017 and went up to Brisbane. And I've been critical of him because I think when you follow his career, I think he's followed where the money's gone. And I've never been, and I never will be in a position where someone comes and offers me $1 million a season. Maybe it was the right decision for him to go up to Brisbane. I feel that played his best football and got a chance to play Origin football under Shane Flanagan. And I think a few of us were hoping that he would be able to rediscover some of that form at the Dragons. I just don't think his body really has it in him anymore. I think for a guy that's had 2 or 3 knee reconstructions or 2 or 3 ACL tears. And I think I kind of said it on the podcast a bit before. I think his versatility has probably hurt him a little bit in his career as well. Even his time at the Dragons when he came in under Anthony Griffin in 2021, he's played centre, he's played fullback, he's played 5'8", he's played second row, he's played lock, he's been a bench utility. Some players thrive in that kind of environment, and others kind of sink to the bottom. I don't think that's necessarily helped Jack. But we wish him all the best, and certainly for your sake, Kurt, I hope he can put in some decent shits for the Tigers next year and beyond. A 2-year deal worth reportedly $800,000 as well. Christian Nicolosi of the Sydney Morning Herald, and this article was also kind of backed up by Michael Chamis and Adrian Prezenko, who were also reporting on this. And then there's a further follow-up article on this, which I'll get to in a sec. But those gentlemen reporting that Reagan Campbell-Gillard, they reported that Reagan Campbell-Gillard passed on St. George Illawarra, and there's kind of some contradictory reports in regards to that. But the main news is that, RCG not coming to the Dragons. It seemed the last couple of weeks when we spoke, Kurt, that this was a done deal. There was just needed to cross some T's and dot some I's, and he was going to be a Dragon in 2025. It's now looking a bit more apparent that, there's a good chance he might go to Brisbane. I saw that the Parramatta Eels social media team had released a press release earlier today saying that he had been released from the last year of his contract. I think he was due about $750,000 in his last year, so Parramatta obviously actively wanting to shop him around. But before I get your thoughts, Kurt, there was another article today from Code Sports, which is an arm of the Daily Telegraph, of that kind of media conglomerate, that it in fact was Flano that walked away from RCG and not the other way around. There was, it was pretty much, as I said, a done deal. I think both parties had agreed to a 2-year contract length, and that seems to have changed. So, Flano kind of walked away, and the Dragons didn't lodge an official offer, which has kind of opened the door for RCG to potentially head elsewhere next year, whether that's to Brisbane, whether that's over in the English Super League or somewhere else. There might be even another club that puts their hand up to try and sign the veteran. But it kind of does pose the question. It's quite funny. It's not as if RCG is someone that has all sorts of medical issues, or there's other things surrounding him that would give a team cold feet. Like the Dragons had been reportedly keen on him for some weeks, and it looked as if it was a done deal, but it is not. Flanagan's walked away, and it poses the question that have other players potentially become available for Shane Flanagan and the Dragons to try and woo or try and throw some money at, or is it just that Shane Flanagan didn't feel right about this signing and didn't think that he would be an upgrade on the current troops that he has in that front row room? It's interesting to kind of spitball about, Kurt, but what are your thoughts when you hear this kind of news about the Dragons, I guess, not pursuing the signing of Regan Campbell-Gillard?
Geez, we've heard these players are getting a bit rich. We've heard a bit of this lately from players, haven't we? Players like Campbell-Gillard or even Jack Bird, who wanted 3 guaranteed years at West Tigers. I'm not sure whether they think they have the leverage to demand such things. If that's and with Jack Bird at West Tigers, that's very strong news that I've been told too, is that he was adamant that he needed 3 years. Apparently didn't get it, and he finally went, fine, I'll take the deal. If you're not wanted by your current club, if another one comes along and you get to stay in Australia with your family and don't have to go to the north of England or wherever to continue your professional career, if someone offers you 2 seasons guaranteed money, you take it. And then you take it, and if you perform and prove yourself, then you get your extensions and the rest. It's a very interesting one where, from what I've been told, if Campbell-Gillard went to the Dragons and said, I'm keen, of course he's keen because he needs another club, but I want this amount of years. How dare you? So good for Flanagan. Obviously, he's got a few things going on, but if that's the case, from what I heard, that Campbell-Gillard wanted an extended contract and guaranteed money, you don't get that when you're being ousted from the club you're currently at. So it does sound like he's got a few things going on, Shane Flanagan, and good on him. That isn't that what you guys as Dragons fans have wanted? Is a guy that's going to stand his ground and say, well, we're not just going to sign anyone. And he has been patient. He has been patient with his signings. And obviously there's a bit more to it than we know.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I've scanned social media and I've seen that fans